Hello, mixtresses and mixters. This is Mixtress Ray, and you're watching Mixtress Video. I'm going to do a pick a pile reading for us today, and this is going to be in focus of, with the purpose of ushering us into a new decade and a new year. So this is kind of going to be sort of a year ahead spread, not as thorough as like if you did your own year ahead spread, or if you wanted me to do a year ahead spread for you. Definitely let me know. My link to my Etsy is down below, so I can do a more personal year in or year ahead spread for you, with my hour readings on my Etsy shop, or even my half-hour readings. I could just do kind of a shorter one for you. But this is just more of a collective, kind of some general guidance for the year ahead, going into a new decade, going into a new year. So I would like you to focus on these three piles while I will go ahead and set intentions and light the incense and our little spell candle here, which I chose black for all of us for protection. And I also have a malachite here to bring money. The quartz is for, clarity, and celestite for divine guidance, and a rose quartz for love. So that's just for all of us. So I'll be spraying some Florida water, lighting the incense, lighting the candle. I'm gonna use this Voodoo Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab perfume because it's got a lot of really potent smells in it. I'm going to put it in my palms, and while I'm doing that, just concentrate on the three piles. Most of the cards are the same within the piles. The only cards that are different are going to be the tarot cards. So this is Marigold Tarot with an amethyst. This is Modern Witch Tarot with a fire agate. And this is Wild Unknown Tarot with a smoky quartz. I intentionally chose my three favorite tarot decks for this pick-a-pile reading. So choose, just for the next couple of minutes while I'm setting up the space, think about which pile you are most drawn to. So first I'm going to light our candle with the, well, wait, actually, I want to do the oil first. I'm going to put that into my palms so that my guidance can be pure. This reading is for the highest and best good for everyone involved. I want to provide as much psychological, spiritual, psychic insight and healing as we can, heading into a new decade, a new year. Lots of political trials coming ahead for us, especially if you live in the United States. And this candle is for our protection in the coming decade, in the coming year, and all of the upcoming obstacles and trials and triumphs that we will face in the next year. 2020, an emperor year. Okay. And I'm going to use a feather just to kind of spread around our beautiful, the incense I'm using, it's actually, you probably won't be able to get it unless you live in Southwest Missouri, but it has clove in it. It's called Gothic Gateway. So if you want to create a space that is similar for yourself right now, if you have any kind of incense that makes you feel like you're in your idea of spiritual scent, like if you had India Temple incense would be good, spiritual guidance incense would be good, anything that kind of takes you to that other realm space. Okay. I should, while you're still, if you're still deciding on which pile, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go over. I'm not starting with this pile yet. I'm just going to go over the decks that I'm going to use. So obviously you're choosing between Marigold, Modern Witch, or Wild Unknown. Sorry, part of my tripod is like in the shot today. Whatever. But I'm also, there are going to be 9 cards for each person, or for each pile. And there'll be the tarot deck that you chose. The Minty Oracle is going to represent kind of your sort of moral compass of the year, sort of your guiding moral compass for the year. You'll have a goddess card from the Goddess Oracle, which will be your goddess to guide you over the course of the year. And then from the Work Your Light Oracle, this will be the message coming from your specific goddess. So kind of what she wants to tell you. And then from the Oracle of the Dragon Fae, it's going to be the message from your fairies or angels or ascended masters or whatever you think of as kind of like the higher spirit, which you could sort of think of that as a goddess too. But I think of it as fairies, so message from the fairies. And then Mystical Shaman is going to represent your message from your ancestors or earth spirits. Kind of that kind of thing. We're missing, oh, animal spirit. That's the other. You're going to have an animal spirit card as well from the Animal Spirit Oracle by Kim Krans. And then each one has like a CD. Like, I don't have very many CDs, so most of the ones I have are very old and very beat up because they survived a tornado. But I do have like a music selection that kind of goes with the theme of each pile. So I guess I could show that to you right now too. So the only things that are different about these 3 piles are the tarot deck, the stone on top, and the music, as far as what you're choosing from, I guess. So this is an Amethyst, Marigold Tarot, and Delirium's Karma. Fire Agate, Modern Witch, and this is not the actual cover of this album, Björk's Homogenic. So I have the cover hanging on the wall. So it's not in the case anymore. Smoky Quartz, Wild Unknown, and Sarah McLachlan's Surfacing. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with pile number 1. So if you chose Marigold Tarot as your pile, I'm going to stand up so I can see where I'm setting this. Your music selection is Delirium's Karma. I'll put your tarot cards in the middle. And your keyword, I took some notes on each of these piles as well. Your keyword is spirituality. And sort of this phrase is spiritual transcendence for you guys this year. And your number is 7. And your element is represented by what's on your animal spirit card in each of these stacks. So your element is spirit. Your goddess, as you can see here, is Shakti. Oh, I'm not going to be able to fit all these cards on here. Okay, I might have to move this up. So I would be able to get everybody in here. Your goddess guidance, your message from your goddess. Is Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, and Teacher. Your message from your ancestors is Flow. And your message from the fairies is Clarity and Fernia. Fernia, Clarity. Okay. I might move the CD out of the way. I'm going to have it right here so you can kind of see it sideways, and we'll talk about it too. Okay, guys. So I really see that you guys are going through how I got your number. Why I say your number is 7 is because 14 plus 20 is 34, and 3 plus 4 equals 7. This is card 43. 4 plus 3 equals 7. Plus you got 2 7 cards in the minor arcana. So that really led me to thinking, and plus Shakti isn't a specific goddess. Shakti is the sort of harmonious energy between the 7 chakras. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So you didn't get a specific goddess, but that is just really what we're seeing here. Temperance is like angel of spiritual healing. So I would guess that a lot of you, of course, this reading is for a lot of different people. So this, take what resonates and leave the rest, as they say. But I would be willing to guess that you have gone through some shit. And 2020 is going to be all about emerging from that shit and sort of finding being able to look through the details and the bullshit to see the actual like clarity. It's gonna clear up for you, like something that you've been confused about, something that you've been trying to sort out for a long time is gonna suddenly, like, the path is going to clear for you. You're gonna be your own priestess, mystic, and teacher. You are going to see through the lies of society, the lies that people around you have told you. You're going to finally see through it this year. You're going to suddenly create your own balance in life. You're going to be in a flow state a bunch of the year, which, if you don't know the psychological concept of flow state, it's pretty simply like anytime you're like really, really into what you're doing, like create something creative, something, or if you're doing research and studying, that you're so interested in what you're doing and what you're working on that you lose all sense of time. You're going to be in a flow state a lot this year. You're going to suddenly realize that all the conflicts that you've been having with family or friends, you're just going to be able to put your hands up and go, you know what? I'm just going to be peaceful towards you because I can see through your posturing, your lies that you're telling yourself. I can see through it. I can stand on my own and stand up for myself. And I can see the underlying energy. It's like a veil is going to be lifted for you this year, and you're suddenly going to see the underlying energy in the universe. You're going to see the pulse. You didn't get a single goddess. You got the energy, Shakti. You got the Shakti feminine guidance. You got the energy of all the goddesses in one. Your chakras are going to align this year. You guys, my marigold tarot babies, are just going to transcend this year. Okay, what else did I write? Energy, clarity, peace, spirituality, spiritual transcendence. Sevens are all about spirituality too. Like, I didn't even realize that. I looked it up in my holistic tarot book. Like, okay, they got a bunch of sevens. 7 is their number. So what do sevens generally symbolize? And basically, in Benabel Wynn's Holistic Tarot, she describes sevens as being spirituality. And about if a seeker gets a bunch of sevens in a reading, it means that their principal objective is understanding. And I would say you're going to get there. You're going to realize, and the fact that you got... there's only like 5 or 6 cards that are of the spirit element in the animal spirit oracle. Most of them are either earth, air, fire, water, but there are like 6 spirit cards. And for you to get one of them and get the unicorn, which I think is the highest I think I have my animal spirit guidebook because she like ranks them. Okay. Unicorn is almost the highest level, and each one represents a chakra. So the unicorn is the 6th chakra, which is the third eye chakra. So that, oh God, that even further like solidifies that you're suddenly going to get it this year. You're going to see beyond all the turmoil, all the arguments around you, and you're going to transcend to the next level. You're going to be very protective of yourself and others, but you're going to relate to them in peace. And people are going to start to see that, like, they're going to start seeing you as sort of this ascended being. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, you feel like at the end of 2020, you have reached some form of enlightenment. So basically, I picked your music. I picked your music based on sort of the keywords of like spirituality and transcendence, because I feel like this is, for me, this is it takes me to that place. If this isn't your type of music, I mean, try it out if you haven't heard it before. But if this isn't your particular thing, whatever works for you as far as like music that you like, that kind of takes you to that spiritual plane, kind of takes you to that level of clarity, whatever type of music that is for you, I would say imbibe as much of that as possible this year, because I see you just like, I don't even have any specific advice for you. I mean, not to say that you're not going to go through anything difficult this year. I mean, somebody's going to be lying to you, even if it's just the society lies that we're all steeped in at all times. You are going to need to stand up for yourself. But because of all these other cards, energy, flow, clarity, mystic, beauty and devotion, like, I guess the only advice I would say is whatever your personal form of devotion is, like whether you believe in gods or goddesses or higher powers or not, trust in that higher version of yourself. Whatever you can do to create a ritualistic practice for yourself that puts you in tune with sort of your inner temperance, your inner Shakti, whatever puts you in this state of spirituality and clarity, like listening to spiritual music, whatever you deem spiritual, whatever makes you feel like you're kind of ascending to that next level. If you're a person that likes to dance or do yoga, just do whatever you can to sort of like transcend through this pathway, because you're gonna get there. You're gonna get that clarity that you've been seeking for a long time. That's pretty exciting. Wow, I love it. I love this for you guys. Okay, so that is pile 1. Let's move on to pile 2. You guys had the Fire Agate and the Modern Witch Tarot. Okay, so this is Björk's Homogenic, and I'm going to kind of move it to the side because I know we're going to need lots of room here. I always have to like set everything up in a very specific way. Plus I want to get all your cards in here. Okay. So, I did not, pile number 2, I did not have this sense with any of the other readings today, but I have a sense with your reading that with your tarot cards in particular, we're looking at past, present, and future for you. I would say that like in the last year, and we're also talking about cycles, Your number is 8. Okay, so I have some notes. I'm gonna look at my notes. Your number is 8. Some of the key words that I brought up, laughter, of course. We've got laughter with Uzume. That's your goddess of the year. And then you've got warrior woman. This is your message from your goddess. Have you answered your deepest calling? She's asking you that. So let's see, past, present, future. The big message that I heard for you intuitively, you need to wake up. You need to wake up. This is sort of a denial of whatever sense of like a cycle ending and a sense of it's over. You've reached the end of your rope, whatever it is. You have passed that point, and now you've transcended into apathy. You aren't yet, I feel like you're actually ready to move on, but you don't think you are. Because this is your future, where you're going to make a significant shift this year. Let's see what else. Your number is 8 for the year, and I got this because this is card 35 and it adds to 8. You got the 8 of Cups. And I think those are the only 2 instances of 8 that we get here, but 4 is also a multiple of 8. So 8s are all about justice, manifestation. I feel like there's some sense that you're not moving on because of power reasons. Like maybe you are just totally done with the job that you're in, but because you are kind of in a higher position within that job, you feel like you shouldn't give it up. Like maybe you worked really hard to get here. Like you went through a lot to get to here, but it wasn't what you expected. And now you're just sort of devoid of emotion and motivation. And you're denying to a certain extent who you are. Because this message here, your message from the fairies, is love who you are. So there's something that you're denying about yourself. And this reinforces that too. The question under the warrior woman of, have you answered your deepest calling? Whatever you're doing right now isn't your deepest calling. A departure needs to happen, whether that's a literal move, it's a change in jobs, a change in relationships. You need to remind yourself. So this is your kind of like overall moral compass of the year from the Amenti Oracle, which is I am kind. You maybe have forgotten that kindness within you. Not to say that you've like become an asshole or anything like that, but I feel like whatever position of power you have created for yourself, whether you kind of got into a weird power dynamic in the current relationship that you're in, or you are higher in the hierarchy of your chosen profession, or whatever it is, you have kind of forgotten that kindness is the most important thing. It's not money, it's kindness. It's not where you are as far as like whether other people respect the power that you currently hold. It's not about what they think. It's about what you think. And this year is about returning to your emotions, you know, going from where you are now at the 4 and getting to the 8. There's a lot of steps in between there. There's the 5 of Cups, which is kind of sad. There's the 6 of Cups, which is sort of returning to childhood and who you were before you got here. And then the 7 is going to be like a daydreaming phase. And then you're actually going to take that step, whatever you daydreamed about. So you're going to go through some shit this year. And your goddess, Uzume, the story about Uzume is the goddess, oh God, what's her name? Oh, I can't remember her name. Damn it. Sorry. There's another goddess who is a goddess that's like of pure beauty and starts with an A, but it's not Aphrodite. You guys are probably thinking of it right now. She gets really sad. She's sort of confronted with cruelty in the universe for the first time, and she sort of shuts herself into a cave because she's so sad about it. And Uzume comes along and just like takes her clothes off and dances and like makes her laugh. And it reminds her to come back to herself. So there's going to be a moment of just total, you're just going to break. You're going to break out into laughter, and you're going to realize that none of this shit matters. None of this like power that you have sought in your life really matters, because you'll remember that you are kind, and you'll remember what your deepest calling is, and it relates to loving who you are. Also, this medicine wheel, we haven't talked about that yet. It's got a big gouge in the card. I don't know how that happened. This is about cycles. You know, this is about entering into the medicine wheel and dealing with, from each direction, north, east, south, and west, dealing with the issues in each direction, dealing with, so it's kind of a holistic cycle. You're going to come back to a part of yourself that really needs to be healed. You're going to realize that you're back at a space that you haven't been in a long time, and it's going to lead you to your moving forward is going to be kind of moving backward, in the sense that you're going to go back to your true self. There was a point in your life where you were following who you really wanted to be, and you've kind of gotten off track of that. So you're going to remember who you are this year, and you're going to get back to it again. You're going to begin the journey back to it again by the end of 2020. And forgive yourself if it takes time. But I think it's going to happen kind of quickly, because your element, for each of these piles today, your animal spirit card, whichever element comes through, is your element, your featured element of the year, I guess. So yours is fire. So that tells me you're going to rediscover your passion this year. And it's probably going to happen pretty quickly, because fire burns quickly. And your Scorpion's kind of, I got the sense when I pulled it that for you, this is not necessarily this isn't a permanent companion. This is a guardian for now. For this year, your guardian is a Scorpion, and that guardian may leave and never come back again. You know, that guardian might never come back into your life, but it's going to be here now. I actually I don't have any specific like intuitive hits when it comes to Scorpion, so I kind of want to look up a Scorpion. Look it up in the Animal Spirit guidebook and see what we're working with the Scorpion. My sense is like it's kind of a cutting off of something. Passionate, competitive, tends towards isolation. When in balance, the Scorpion is wild and free and fierce. When out of balance, the Scorpion is jealous, resentful, and unresolved. So I would be willing to bet that right now you feel not only apathetic, but also unresolved, jealous, resentful. And to bring back into balance, you got to be honest with yourself and forgive yourself. That's a big theme for you as well. You may not believe that you still are the warrior woman, whether you're a man or a woman. You may not have laughed in a long time. There's some true sense of yourself that you've been denying. And this year, you're gonna break through, or you're gonna have opportunity to break through. So let's talk about Björk's Homogenic for a second. This is Björk's third album, I think. Came out in 1997. And because your number is 8, particularly for you, I'm going to suggest that you listen to Björk's Alarm Call from this album. One of the lyrics is, "This is an alarm call, wake up now," which I did not even plan that when I wrote down "you need to wake up" in my notes for you guys. I did not plan that at all. That is perfect. It's time to wake up. Like, you're better than the apathy that you're currently feeling. You're better than that. You deserve more life in your life. And I think you're going to figure that out for yourself this year. So that's actually kind of beautiful. When I first pulled these 3 cards, I was like, oh shit, you guys. But for the most part, I mean, this is in your past and this is in your future. Like, your way of dealing with the bullshit that you've gone through in the past is to cut yourself off from your emotions. But if you can reawaken those emotions and reconnect to your creative spark in life, you're going to be able to move away from it and start progressing forward. So that's really beautiful. So that is pile 2. I'm actually going through these kind of quickly. I thought I was going to be babbling a lot more. This is pile 3 with the Smoky Quartz and Wild Unknown Tarot. So your tarot cards are Strength, 10 of Pentacles, and the Lovers. Your sort of moral compass card of the year is I Give Blessings. Your animal spirit, and your element of the year. Your animal spirit is bat, your element is air. Your goddess of the year is Caradwyn. Your goddess's message for you is Starseed. Your message from the fairies is Anya and the Guardian, Born Innocent. I have no method to my madness. Sorry, guys. And your card, your message from your ancestors is the Blade. And your music is, there's me, Sarah McLachlan's Surfacing. So I'm going to kind of set this to the side so you can still sort of see it. We'll talk about that at the end. Okay, I'll put your Smoky Quartz down here. Can you see it still? Yes. Awesome. Okay. For you guys, I took notes for everybody. So your notes, we'll start with that. Your numerology for the year. Your numerology for the year is 6. And I got that because the Blade is card number 6. Lovers is 6. And this is 12. So that's a multiple of 6. So you do have at least 2 occurrences of 6s and then kind of a stretch to get that last one. But that's okay, right? So 6s, when you have a lot of 6s in a reading or multiple 6s in a reading, it's all about harmony and expression, and you want to be appreciated. I mean, of course, everybody wants to be appreciated. I could say that to anyone. But you definitely have been seeking that. And my big, like, intuitive hit for you guys looking at your cards was that in 2020, in the beginning of the new decade, in the beginning of the new year, you are really sort of emerging from a dark place. You are surfacing. You're coming up from, either you went through something really dark and you kind of, my thought is that you went through something really dark and you've been in that dark space for a while, But in 2020, you're going to start to emerge. You're going to start to surface. And it's all about light. You got death and rebirth here with Caradwin. You're coming out of the dark. Your turn is toward the light. You are finally, you have gained the strength through what you've gone through. You're going to heal, like, not only yourself, but you're going to be healing through generations. Like, I almost want to say, because Anya says born innocent, like, we're all born innocent. I would say that you're kind of coming back to a cycle. 10 is about coming back to a cycle too, death and rebirth. Like, you're finishing a cycle of hardship that you've been trudging along with for a long time, and you're going to be able to see the light again. If you haven't already found, this could like literally be love, or it might be like soulmates in the form of, could be soulmates in the form of a pet, in the form of a best friend, in the form of a daughter or a mother. Or if you haven't yet, I feel like you're going to heal some serious family bullshit, and on the other end of that, you're going to find that like soulmate love. And I just see so much light and beauty for you. You're going to be able to kind of go back to that space whenever you were born innocent. And it's been dark for you for a long time, and you haven't felt that. You haven't been able to feel that. And in 2020, you're going to get there. It's going to come back around. And your element being air is interesting for you, because we've got earth here, fire here, air here. And this is kind of air because it's a blade. And then death and rebirth. There's something that this tells me, there's something that needs to be cut off. So your message from Caradwin, your goddess of the year, is what lights you up. So what brings you towards the light? What surfaces you? What takes you back to the happiness that you felt as a child, which is a recurring theme. We were talking about that in one of the other piles as well. There's sort of this emerging above it all. Like, this bat is flying out of the darkness or he's flying into the darkness. It doesn't matter, because he knows who he is and he holds the light within. Because most bats are kind of blind because they exist in the dark. So you have existed in the dark a long time. But that cycle is going to end if you can ask yourself what brings you towards the light. And it might mean that you have to cut something off or someone off. There might be some sort of very swift blade movement of letting something go or someone go. And if you can do that, you're going to get to this sort of divine ancestry healing. You're going to find this like soulmate love, even if it's just within yourself, learning to love yourself again, learning to love that innocent child within that you haven't been in a long time. And the I give blessings has, you know, kind of air element going on here too, and sort of fire with the triangle. That's kind of a 6 of Pentacles right there. I feel like this is a family thing. There's some kind of family thing. Like, maybe you're having a child, and that child, or you already have, and your child, you were able to pass on the messages that you wanted to get from your parents. You're able to heal that wound. I feel like there's some kind of like family healing that's going on here that is bringing you back to yourself. It's really beautiful. Yeah, I think that's it. It's just there's some sort of cycle that is ending and starting back over, and it's a cycle of healing. It's a cycle of strength and beauty, and I feel like it's you and a child, or you, and it could be for some of you, it's you kind of bonding with that inner child and becoming soulmates with that inner child. For some of you, you're becoming soulmates with your literal child. For some of you, you're becoming soulmates with your literal parent. You're healing that rift in you somehow. That parent-child rift, you're healing it. This is, or just can't keep being drawn to this. I feel like even though this is the minor arcana card amongst the three, this is almost the most important one. You're healing it. You're healing it all. Whatever has had to die in order to make space for this healing, it's supposed to die. This dark, what you're heading out of is dark, and what you're heading into is light in the best possible way. You are surfacing. So, since your number is 6, if you want to get really literal with that, the 6th track on Sarah McLachlan's Surfacing is called Witness. It's that one right there. I can't remember off the top of my head. I wonder if there are lyrics in this book. Oh my god, let's read some lyrics, guys. If they're in here, I'm gonna do it. Witness. No lyrics for Witness, but there's this beautiful image. You want to kind of use that as your final oracle card today. Witness. Witnessing the growing of your inner child, or your actual child, or your parent. There's just some familial healing going on for you guys in pile 3 in 2020 and in the new decade. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Bring all the piles back. Yay. Okay. I hope that you guys have a great holiday, whatever holiday you celebrate, and a great end of your year. And I miss you. I wish you all the blessings.